Well, just pull it apart, Paul. I'm in the garage. It's last time I looked, it's about 4 degrees Celsius, 3 degrees off freezing in Melbourne, Australia. So there we go. The point of the exercise tonight is just to show you the electrical jointing compound that I use on making antennas. For the purpose of tonight, I'm finishing off a 6-metre antenna, which is to be resonant at 50 something or other, low 50s for FT8. I'm going to, with this antenna, it runs a 1-to-1 balun, and the legs coming out of the balun are what I join to the stainless steel hardware. And before anyone has a go, stainless steel is great. It's a lot better than hard-drawn copper, which I prefer to use, but all my history with hard-drawn copper is that it stretches or breaks in any storm that we have down here. So on short antennas like this, which is 2.9 metres long, I just use stainless steel hardware. It no difference. You won't see any difference. You can chase that up with the ARRL handbook and have a look to see exactly where it does matter. All right, I'm going to swing you around. All right, so the product that I use is the Utilux H2397, which is the same or comparable product to the Almanox. And what I'm going to do is where the blue wires join to the stainless steel hardware under crimp pressure or clamped pressure, I've soldered these wires on the tips, and the tips are compressed onto the stainless steel. However, I still believe I need to have a jointing compound, which is where this comes into it, and I've had this for about 15 years. That's how long that lasts. And what I'm going to do is put it over both connections, there and there, and then run heat shrink over it again, and that will be the final part of the antenna. All right, just going to do it and then get the heat shrink out. Okay, job done. Took less than a minute. Okay, so if we have a look, it's not rocket science. However, this is part of the theory that we all need to have when we are building antennas. Okay, so the next stage is to heat shrink that clamp and the electrical connection. It's not going to be perfect because this will stay around in any storm anyway, so it's just a matter of giving the antenna the best advantage where possible. As you can see, there's multi-layers on the bend that I've done with heat shrink, and I've done that on both sides. Okay, so again, it's very easy to make an antenna, but it's a lot harder to make the antenna look fantastic. So I'm not saying that this is any form of elitism. This is just an antenna that is 2.9 metres long, and it's going to be able to handle, if I wanted it to, a kilowatt. So, however, the pout that I'm using on this is around about 130 watts via a TS60, which is a Japanese version, which is running about 20 watts on the drive, and that will give me about 100 to 130 out. All right, I'll just heat shrink this, thanks. Okay, I've expanded the heat shrink. What I do is I use my wire cutters and I pull them back and I expand the heat shrink over the connectors, and whilst it's in stretch mode and before it started to shrink, I slide it in over the connection, and there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do now is use my portable flame, and I'm going to shrink the heat shrink. So I won't bore you with that, I'll do it off screen. Okay, there you have it. I'll just give you a closer up look. So all I've done is I've progressively used smaller and smaller heat shrink compound on the black side until I've got down to, what is it, the 5mm version, and that seals that whole connection off up there. It also provides ridgeability on those eyelets, so that it gives the antenna a 100% chance of working. So there we go. That's your lot for the night. How to build a dipole. And this one in particular is for 50043 or something. But it will cover all the way up to 54. There you go. This with a 1-to-1 balun, you can use the same type of theory on any band from 80 metres all the way through to 70 centimetres if you wish to cut a dipole that small. Anyway, guys, that's your lot. Pull apart Paul, signing out. There's your information session and how to, at least how I do it anyway. Cheers, guys. Remember, comment, like and subscribe.